Yep. It's a bit better. As soon as you load up the game, you get straight into it, so there's nothing I could do about the music. I'll try and fix it in a minute. Ticket to ride with the kids. Nice. Enjoy, discount. Yes. Okay. Can I open it? I can.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
Okay. Right, the house. Can I pause it? Can I do audio? Because that is way too loud. I'll keep the music high to there. We'll do that to there and we'll just play around with that. I really wish you could do this before it loaded up, but you can't. Next thing I need to do is that. Is it still a little bit too loud? It might still be a little bit too loud. We'll see. We'll try and figure it out from there. Okay. Anyway. So it all started with a house. Let's go and have a look. Can I run? Okay, so I can zoom in. We've got
I lived
Optifine.
here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Wait, you live there? Why would you live there? That looks like a building out of Raft. Oh. Oh, dude. Is it weird that I want to build that in Minecraft? Like, is it really weird that I want to build this sort of a thing in Minecraft?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
They obviously didn't do that. Can I not have a look at the... Can I not open the stuff, or are we just gonna leave it? Just gonna leave it? Okay. Sure. Also, by the way, we have a body, so that's good.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh. Push it. Oh, okay. They're a little... Okay, I don't like how... her body is moving. That's distracting. They're a little... This is already very pretty, I can tell. What does this say? No trespassing. This property is protected by video surveillance. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Ah, leaf! Leaf! I was being attacked by a 2D leaf.
My mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Okay.
Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
We have a fork in the road. I kind of want to go down this way. The Finches. You go up here. I want to go down. This seems like the most sensible course of action. There's a frog somewhere. Right down at the bottom. Where is it? I can hear it, but I can't see it. I have no idea where this is.
Even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I have questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
I don't know where the house is. I'm just wandering down a path right now.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something, but never do.
Oh, is this a spooky game? This feels like a spooky game. I've got to say, I do like the graphical detail on this at the moment. There's a lot of, like, little things that just polish the game. Although, I'm not gonna lie, the textures on that tree and all the trees are not great. But then I guess trees are probably difficult to make. Oh, I think that's why the other path went. I think we went the stupid way. That's okay.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Okay. Can hear more ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. There must be somewhere near Los Angeles then, if they've got that sound.
The house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Basically, what we're saying right now is that I've just finished a game that revolves around teenagers, and now I'm playing a game where I'm a teenager. Okay, good to know. Let's go. Do I go this way? I mean, the words were over here. I don't go this way. That was... Oh, I was giving them... I was saying how good the graphics looked. And then they do that shit. Like, come on. It's just a painted frickin' window. And they're all the same. They're all the same windows. Is that maybe intentional? Is that intentional? I'm gonna hope that's an intentional thing, and it's supposed to be like that, because they've really framed that. Like, they've really, like, gone out of their way to frame that with the leaves. I don't know. Open the key. Open the door.
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Okay. Have a look through the letterbox.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Can't see anything. Oh. That's a lot of books. Okay, well, let's go around the back then, I guess. You can't go that way, so I think we have to go... I really wish I could run in these sort of games. Like, can we not walk faster, please? Big strides. Come on now. Uh-huh. Cat flap. Can we open this one? Oh, I was gonna see if I could open the door first with the key that we
Crawling
had.
through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
We got a car here. So what year do we think this is set? I think the game came out in 2017, right? Workbench. Nice looking workbench, actually. Very organized. I approve. Although we are missing tools. Missing some chisels there. You got all the spanners. Missing a couple of screwdrivers. And somebody didn't put the frickin' saw back up there. Wait, let's have a look. See if we can see those screwdrivers around. Negative. Someone's nicked our screwdrivers. Paddling pool. Can I turn this on?
The power had been turned off the night we left. For the first time in years.
Mm-hmm. Open it.
I felt like I was home.
Hey, we're home. It is... That clock's probably not working.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Who needs this many plates?
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Who needs all these plates? I don't... They're all clean, too. Oh. Edith, Eddie, Lewis, Dawn. That's me. So Lewis was older than us? He looks a lot older because he's got facial hair. What we got in here?
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Orange tabby. Got some nice photos. Huh. Is there anything around here? Ooh, there's a pamphlet. Oh.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Edie. Oh, she was a great-grandma. She's still got an oxygen tank here. So it was Mum's grandma?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
There is a lot of books.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
The bricks came from the... Is that the original house? Is that what that is? I see. Okay, is there anything we can, like, pick up around here? What is this? Does that say Dawn Finch living room? Okay. Oh, there is a... This. Turn it. I have to do it.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Okay. You stopping? I was listening to that. Can we play that again? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crank it. Okay, we'll listen to it. What do we have here?
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Apparently a lot of foam. Can we go up the stairs?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Milton. Edie. Peepholes. Okay. Do I want to go in there? That scratch marks on the floor.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Definitely got something that's been dragged through here. What is this?
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Secret passages. Okay, let's open this. Let's see if this one fits. Oh, it does. Okay.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets.
Oh.
Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
No. We're not going in there just yet. Just hold that. We're gonna go and try and get downstairs, and we're gonna explore the rest of the house, because that's how these games work. They take you down a singular path, and then you miss things. And it's no fun, and there are peepholes.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Whoa. What? Right.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Okay. What about this? Edie to 2010 and Sven.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Okay. So this is 2017 then.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Barbara Finch as Bigfoot. My friend Bigfoot. Okay. Can I... There's more? Ah! So this is Barbara's room. Let's have a look.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Okay. Child star until America grew out of it. Right. What about you?
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Odin Finch. Actually, maybe not Finch, because Edie would have married into being a Finch, right? Yeah, so she would have married into being a Finch. So, not a Finch. Just Edie. Odin and Edie. Let's go up here.
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
Okay, that's locked. Can't go up that way. Let's go down. I really wish I could run. Don't know why I want to run, but I really wish I could run. Can I look through this peephole? I can.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
That's a terrifying thought. That's terrifying. Jesus, can I open this?
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Okay, the key doesn't fit. I knew that was going to be the case because we already know where the key is supposed to be. But is there anything else? Oh, there's something over here that I missed. What is this?
After Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got pretty sick of salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Actually, I do like salmon, but not in cans. Not in. Creaky house is creepy. Okay, up we go. Let's go and have a look, see what's inside this train, shall we? More random chairs and... Oh wait, did we have a look through this? Who's this one? Molly. Who's Molly?
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Oh, I see. Hold on. So they are... Wait a second. There was one that... Oh, dude, that's really depressing. They've been, like, glued shut as well. So Calvin had someone else living in there. That's really... okay. Let's go in here. Right. Is this Mum's stuff? This could be Mum's stuff.
Reading this Maybe it sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Brother Milton? We haven't heard about Milton. Wait, was Milton the one that went missing?
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Saving. Orca's Island calves. Okay.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Put it away. And what else do we have in? So this is Molly's room.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Okay. What's over here? Oh, okay. Starfish. That's been sliced open. Also, it looks like... No, yep, Bush is definitely dead. Read it!
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Pumpkin.
My Halloween candy was all gone.
Oh. Gerbil food. I don't want to eat gerbil food. Is this going to be really sad? This is going to be really sad. This is going to be really sad, isn't it? I'm going to have to eat some gerbil. I don't want to eat some gerbil food. Can we just open the door?
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Fine.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Okay. Open the door. What do we have here? What is this,
kept
toothpaste?
eating and eating.
Oh, man. What is that sound? Oh. Don't eat the berries, kid.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Oh, no. This isn't good. Don't eat the berries. Stupid.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Ah, there's a bird. Hi, bird.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest.
Open
I
it.
reached out for her.
Uh-oh.
And suddenly,
Oh, God.
I was a cat.
Oh, wait. We're a cat now? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Eat it, eat it. Get it. Get the birdie. Get the
I tried
birdie.
to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Okay, quiet, quiet, quiet. Damn it! I'm a cat. Let's get up. I want the birdie.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
I want the birdie. A year with Frog and Toad. Hey man, how's it going, dude? Welcome in. Where did the bird go? I got distracted. I was up there. Get it. Jump up. Onto here. Up here. And then birdie, birdie, birdie.
They were all gone.
Oh. That's sad. Are you sad? Up. Go.
I jumped and I almost got her.
Almost. Down we go. And ready. Get it.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
That's good. We need to go and get it. Jump up. How am I getting up there?
Now
This
I was
way?
up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
But
All I cared
I'm...
about was eating. I gobbled her up,
Yes! Uh-oh.
and suddenly I was an owl.
Oh, that's good.
First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
We can steer the owl. Okay, little teeth. Where? There? No? Nothing.
Rabbits.
Rabbits! Get them! Get the rabbits, get the rabbits, get the rabbits, get the rabbits! Got it! Yes! My rabbit.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Okay, something bigger. It's the only way to eat rabbit. Don't chew. Okay, what can we see? What can we see? Can't see anything. This is a great
mama
game.
Rabbit.
More rabbits? A mama rabbit. Let's go. Yes. Got it.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Uh-oh.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
In a tree. Help. Oh, God. Oh, no. Help. Help. I can't do anything. Oh, I can. I can jump. Yeah. Come on. Come on, shark. You can do this. Yeah.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
There we go.
Now, I was hungrier than ever.
Bet you were. Now you're hungrier than ever. Okay, so how am I controlling this? Okay. Down, up, down. Side to side. There's a thing there.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Okay. Gonna eat it. Yeah. Munchy munch.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Oh, let's go back. Where is it? There it is. Ah, you're mine now.
Tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Okay. This is a great game. I'm already really enjoying it, yes. What am I now? What is this?
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Okay. This is actually really creepy. I don't want to be a monster. I want to be a shark again. Actually, I want to be the owl. The owl was fun. Squirming tentacles and... Oh, hello there.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Yes. Yep. Munchy, 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 munchy. Let's go up the stairs. I can hear the music. Yes.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Here. Oh god, I'm inside the chair. Can I go up walls? I haven't tried. I cannot. Okay, we'll go this way. Betty White died?
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Okay, well now we are...
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Now we're a monster that... Okay. Up we go. Oh. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh my word. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. I could go back that way. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. It's a little bit difficult with the cam.
I got closer and closer.
Oh. Ah. I'm back. Here. Where do I need to be? The hamster? Oh.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okay. I like that. That was fun. Poor Molly indeed. Can you stop killing my friends?
I can't
Look,
describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
I don't want to look underneath there. There is a tentacle thing there as well. Okay. Are we going through here? No. Don't actually know what I'm supposed to do now. Am I going back out this way? Maybe? No? This? No? Molly is still here. Is there anything else? I'm so lost. Help. I don't see any more, like, things that I can pick and prod and poke. Up this way. Let me out! I can't go back this way either. It's very confusing. Okay, well, we've got Molly down here now. So who the hell is Sanjay? I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I just need... There's a shark there, look. I want to have a look underneath the bed, but I'm not allowed. December 1947. Oh, never mind. I'm just an idiot. Can we be a cat now? Maybe? Are we being the cat? Can we go across here? Probably not safe. No, we can't go across there.
This will be obvious later, but My mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
Open the window.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Lurpy. Purpley. Furpy. Oh, there's an owl. Zerpy. What was the first one? Rob. That was apparently a lizard. Oh, we got another. We got more. We got more. What do you have? We got Bob. Burpee. Unnamed. Derpy.
Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones.
What is this?
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Built 1937. Sven Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Okay. He was killed by a dragon. There is a thing over here.
Her room was like a museum.
What is this?
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Uh-huh.
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Can I exit out of that? How do I exit out? I just have to hit back.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Okay. So Odin is the beginning of this, then we've got Edie down there on like the lower branches. Wait. Hold the phone, because that means that Edie married Sven, but Sven must have taken the name Finch. Right? Because this is Sven Finch.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Okay, open it. Holy what even is this? What? Why? Oh god, that's terrifying. I don't know if I want to go in there. God, Jesus Christ. It's like a unicorn has vomited everywhere. What the There's a frog. God, this is...
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Yes.
It was a pretty big trace.
Yes. Open it. There's a secret in this bathroom by Sven and Edith Finch.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Okay. Calvin Finch.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
So this is Sam's secret dark room, I guess? It's got a red light there, yeah. Can I get under here? You can. Milton! Push it open. Oh. Right, we're in this place. Fort Calvin. To Command Center. Command Center. And, Fort Sam. So these are Edith's sons? No, Edith, wait, no, wait, hold on. So this is Sam and Calvin, right? 1950, so they're twins. Edie, I meant Edie, not Edith. I meant Edie. We're Edith. We're Edith, that's our name. That's our name. That's a Buzz Lightyear. Way ahead of his time, this guy is. I don't think there's anything that I can do here, so I guess we
Grandpa
just...
Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
So this is Calvin. So this is our grandpa. Sam. Also, the fact that it mirrors, but the decoration is different.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Command Center, let's read it.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Yes! Get on the swing. Go!
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't.
This is actually really giving me vertigo.
Always wanted to fly.
We... Not happening.
But
Not
that day,
happening.
he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
It's not impossible.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
I did it. I did it once. And I'll do it again. In game, let's go, baby.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
Oh, come on. No, I don't care about no wind. This is not impossible. You can do this.
But I didn't. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Let's go.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Hell yeah!
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
I had a swing when I was growing up, and I absolutely tried to do like a loop-de-loop on the swing, but I was never able to. I could never do it. Because the swing probably wasn't stable enough to do that on, and it was like an old rust bucket, right? Like it was properly wasn't safe. And I really tried to go all the way around.
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
But
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Oof. We're going this way? Another secret? What am I doing? Am I pulling it? Pushing it? Pushing it. Okay.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
We're outside there now, I see. Also another Milton picture. Hold on. Oh god. Is this me with the ability to get in and out of there if I want to? Yes. Okay. What does that say?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Oh, I can get back in there if I want to. Noted. I don't want to. Not just yet. So Barbara is the child star. We got a guitar there. God, yes.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Yes. Yes. This is the problem. Bob Street. So dear. Dreadful stories.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Okay. This is really unique.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Oh god. Get...
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Oh, come on. This is not how she died. Oh, wait, no, that's the blood from the... That's the blood from the handsaw.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you're...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Seriously? Come on, Barbara. You need to be moving faster than this. This is too slow. Okay. Alright, let's kill my little brother. Let's try that. Where is Walter Finch?
Walter, are you there?
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Oh god.
Barbara turned, saw the Hookman, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And whoever he was, he couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
There is. There's like a secret passageway right here.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Okay. I guess we go this way? Right?
She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Okay, let's go and beat the other guy up from behind. Let's do this.
The door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges grown.
Okie dokie. Let's smashy, smashy, smashy.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Let's go downstairs. I have a bad feeling about this. I think we just killed our brother. Oh god, no, he's gone. Of course he has. To the left or to the right? Which way? Which way? He's gonna be to the left. Fuck!
The bookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Open the door.
The door. She heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Okay.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Okay. Yep. Okay. That was freaky. I'm not gonna lie. Barbara. Can we exit this? I guess we know where we're going next, right? We're going downstairs.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Yes. The music box. Exactly, right? Gotta go downstairs to the music box to go and turn it and then turn it and then turn it and then turn it and then get the key. I think that's the plan anyway. Where is it? Where's the music box? Here it is. Let's turn it. Keep going. Nice. Okay. What's downstairs? That's the big question. What is this? Pool table. Got a pool table down here. Yeah, that wasn't intentional. The, not being able to see through the basement windows. That wasn't intentional. That was just poor design. Okay. Good to know.
Mom's
At least it's not...
was off limits. Unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Tetanus? Oh, wait. This is... I wonder if the missing screwdrivers and chisels are down here. We found a chisel. Paintbrush. But then there's another... Yeah, no. That chisel belongs up there, look. Because it's the same handles, whereas I think... Oh, there's missing tools everywhere, and it's bugging me. Nobody likes a missing tool on the tool benchy thing.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Packages? Where?
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
No. Probably not. Open it.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Okay. This is an elevator. Not an elevator. Secret underground
I
tunnel.
remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Wait, is Walter our brother? Walter is our great uncle, right? So Edie married in. I'm sure Edie said that it was her father Odin. Sven. No, Sven is connected to Edie. Sam and Kay are connected together. Dawn and Sanjay are connected together. I see. I get it. Okay. So these are our uncles. So we had two uncles. Gregory didn't live very long. Or wait, no, did Dawn? Dawn is from this branch, right? So Gus was supposed to go up on this branch, maybe? I don't know. I'll figure that out. I'll figure it out as we go through the story. Oh my goodness!
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Walter. So he didn't run away. He came and lived down here. Trains. More trains. Okay. What are we doing?
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
1976.
You get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Whoa. There's an exit. Oh my god. Okay. What are we doing this way?
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly.
God damn it.
Calvin.
Okay.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here. I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
I don't know what to say. That's tragic. Okay, let's keep going.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
So Walter, no, it still would have been great uncle. Oh, I don't know. It must be great uncle, right? Maybe. Yeah, it must be great uncle.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Okay, let's go through here.
Trying to bury something that's still alive.
feel like we need to be careful though, Edith.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Yes, this is where he died. And he liked trains as well. That's the weird thing. Where did the train track? Oh, I suppose the train track must have been deteriorated there and it's collapsed, so then they closed the line off, maybe? Don't know.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Edith, you're not gonna die on me, right? Like, that...
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Oh god. I think that's what's happening.
But I thought
think
you should know about your family.
Oh. I see. I get it. Okay.
And the history you're a part of.
Oh dear.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Yes.
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
I have a very bad feeling about this. I have a very bad feeling, actually.
And look at the house. That history of imagination and stubbornness and madness. Any of it seems possible.
Open it. I don't think I can go that way. I think I've got to go this way.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
Can I take that?
What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
That is a very good point.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Oh,
3
it's
of
all
the
the
gerbils
birds.
were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
3 of the gerbils had been mine, and 2 of them were my fault. Okay. Well, we have to find the gerbils. I mean, we've got Zerpy, Lurpy, Flurpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, and Jerpy Jr. Derpy Jr. Lucy. It's a dog. Daisy. Charlie. I don't know where the gerbils are. Christopher, it must have been a gerbil. Oh, that's a dog's. We don't have any. Don't have any gerbils there, I don't see. Well,
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
what we got Barbara Finch, Walter, Edie Finch, and Sven Finch, Calvin Finch, Molly. She was a cat.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Who's this? Couple of people. That's Odin.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
What could she see? I noticed that earlier. Can't. Can I? We can't. I can zoom in.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Oh, I see. It's the old house.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Okay. So we got...
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
So we've got Sam, Gregory, and Gus. Wait a second. I need to just keep looking at the dates here just to make sure that this... Yeah, okay, so these are all... So this is Sam, this is our grandfather. And then Gregory and Gus are his sons, I think. Okay. The fact that Gregory was only one is less... that's... No, nearly two, nearly two. Oh, that's... Ugh. Okay. Why are they always kids?
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Sanjay Kumar, so that's our father, I think. Lewis is... Yeah. Lewis was my older brother, and then Milton.
We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
(1992, 1988). When Edith is 1999. So she's young compared to the other two. Lewis was 11 years older. Oh wow, that means that Edith never knew Sanjay, her father. And wait, our last name is Finch, but we didn't take Kumar. Let's keep going.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday. And find everything out for myself.
I don't know. I don't know if I like your mom, Edith. I'm sorry. I don't think we're designed to, are we? I don't think we're meant to. We're only 17 as well. She said that, right? But, like, obviously expecting, I think. I think that's the whole point.
But looking back on it now...
Yes. Looking back on it all now.
If she told me there was going to be so much climbing...
Wait.
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
I knew you were pregnant. Don't do it. Oh god. Jump, 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 jump. Okay. Don't stand on the glass. I never trust glass. Oh.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
We never met Grandpa Sam. Open it.
They were both pretty intense.
Whose room is this? Oh, this is Sam's room. But not Sam's as a kid.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit.
Odin Finch National Park.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
There's a bird.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though. Aww.
What else is there around here? Are we supposed to follow the bird? Is that what we're supposed to do? Maybe. This is actually a really difficult mechanic, I'm not gonna lie. Not quite sure what I'm supposed to be taking photos of, and I can't see anything because it's all blurry.
Not have drunk all that coffee.
Shouldn't have drank all the coffee.
Nothing quite like being outside.
Hey! That's a keeper. Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years.
What does that say? Poems.
Last time, Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Yeah, okay.
Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Whoa!
Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad,
Whoop.
I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Now keep yourself squared up. Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
I see.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Hmm.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Yep. That one was a tough one. That looks like a real photo as well, so I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Airplane ticket. K. Finch. That was Sam's wife, right? Our grandmother, I guess. Let's go through. Have we got more black room, dark room?
After Sam died,
not.
My mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh. Oh no. No, I was afraid of this one. This one is not a... This is... Yes. No. I don't wanna do this one. This one's gonna suck. This one's gonna real suck. I don't. Yep. Okay. Carl is the petitioner. The respondent is Sam Finch. Can you just...
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
That time's over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw.
I don't think this is a smart idea. Oh, I see. I'm supposed to do the frog.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw.
Yeah. Not quite sure where I'm going, but okay. There. Hey, it worked.
It sure made him happy.
Gonna help you out, buddy. There we go. Up, onto the top. Yeah.
I know how silly it sounds. But I worried about a baby being too happy.
We need to get on here.
But I could feel him slipping away.
On there.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
No.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Bubble bath? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I think I'm supposed to get up there. There we go.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
I want to turn it off now. I don't like this.
Hey, there's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
That one sucked. That one really sucked. That one was a rough one. Okay, let's have a look at.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
Guess.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Am I collecting them all up? Yeah. There's more here, right?
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
I think I'm supposed to turn the letters upside down.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I remembered.
Oh, I see. Sam got married again. Is there any more words anywhere? No? Yes. Damn.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Damn. Oh god, I suck at this.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Okay. Oh no. Pick up the ladders. Ugh.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
This. Up we go.
Thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Where is it? I don't know. I wish that. No. Oh God, no.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Wow.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
This is horrible. I don't know how much more I can deal with this. What is this? Duties. Dawn, sweep trash, Gups, mop, mow, Greg, be a baby. Raise flag, breakfast, quiet time, jump rope, jump jacks, push-ups, crunchies. That's a lot of sit-ups and and press-ups, right? Like that. That's a lot of that. Jumping jacks, 150. Run to mailbox and back. Oh, climbing wall. I want to go up.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
I don't think we should be climbing this. Is this an Atari?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
And there she is. Do you know what really gets me with this is that the photos are real. They're like real people. And fly to India. Oh, don't yawn.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
Okay. We going up?
When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Milton Lewis. Oh, I see. So our mom moved out. And then when Sanjay died, we moved in. And Edith grew up.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
I see.
And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Oh, family history. Fact or fiction? Times tables. Yes.
But it didn't last.
Edith Lewis Milton. Odin Finch. The curse, the myth, the history. Open it.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday. when Edie gave him a castle.
Oh no. Is this Milton's room?
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Let's go and have a look. That's a really...
I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
These are really good. Like, actually really good. I wish I had this, like, this level of talent. Let's go up. I see. The magic paintbrush. So surely this is something that Edith knows. Because this is all about her brother, right?
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Yes. No! I wanted to keep watching that. I'd started again. Okay, well, I'm watching it all the way through. Oh god, no. Wait, are we watching a book inside a book now? I'm confused. There's the door. She goes through the door. That's it.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
I see. It says 2003 on there. It definitely says 2003, look. 1992 to 2003, so he was only 11.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
I guess we're going up to the top, right? That's Milton's castle.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself.
Oh.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Lewis.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
I need to back out of this, thank you. I keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, let's go in Lewis's room. Open it. Oh, okay. Lewis.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
I'm just saying. Try and be a little bit more coy about it. I had one of those.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Yes. I also die a lot in video games. Locker contents. What is it? Oh no.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Uh-oh. I can't reach it. I can't...
wander.
Okay. Oh god, no, how am I gonna... I need to... I can't do both.
I asked him to describe it.
I can't do both.
Small. Imagining a labyrinth.
Yes. Going down this way.
He'd feel his way about.
Yes.
Then something
can't
moved.
Do both.
Bats.
Oh god.
And toads.
I need to do the fish. Hold on. Need to do the fish. Hold on. Hold on, minigame. No.
And things that have not names.
Oh no. Please don't. Okay, we gotta
He knew
go.
it was all in his head.
Yes. I got more fish. Okay. Oh god. I'm behind on my fish. Help.
He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
I don't think he's going to.
But he found something more.
Uh-oh. It's 3D now.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like
Where's the next fish?
Lewis. So I let him go on.
Oh god.
I even encouraged him.
You encouraged him to do this? This sounds like a bad psychiatrist.
Very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
There's a dog. Hey, doggy.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Lewis Topia. Do I have to find the thing? How do I get across? I want to get across. Oh, I missed a fish. Sorry.
He built the city
that's how.
slowly, brick by brick.
Okay, let's build this city with rock and roll.
And he made musicians.
Yes.
And songs for them to play.
This is so weird.
Talked about starting a band.
Catch the fish.
And he was always humming something.
Dun 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 dun. Catch the
Every day
fish.
his imagination
Don't chop
grew
off my
stronger.
hands. Gotta be careful with my fingers. I'm getting stuck. Oh god, there's
He
everything
no longer
here.
spoke at the cannery.
Nope, don't need to. Why would I need to?
but his chopping was as reliable as ever.
Yes, chop it off.
Then one day it struck him.
No. Don't strike me.
That all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet,
No.
were all in his imagination.
Yes.
So he could do whatever he wished.
Yes! Come on, chop the fish's head off. Come on now.
He held an election for mayor.
Which, of course, he's gonna win. Why wouldn't he?
And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Oh, I need to do the fish still.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Kill them!
New Louisville.
Don't crash.
St. Louis.
St. Louis! Works. That
Started
probably should have
drifting
been the
away
first
from
name.
Our reality.
Uh-oh. I gotta be careful with these fish, though, because I don't want to chop off my fingers.
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
He forgot to go home from the cannery.
Oh.
Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Go on then. Let's chop open more fish.
In Louisville,
Where are we going?
He heard rumors of a
Louisburg. The handsome queen.
handsome queen.
Chop more fish.
The queen was on her own quest for
Radiant rainbows. Always go for the rainbows, right?
radiant rainbows.
Chop it, chop the fish. Sploosh. Oh no, I knocked over a rainbow.
He followed the sound of her
sitar.
electric sitar.
Please, play me some sitar music. I missed it.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Okay. Need the next fish. That's actually getting really
Even
monotonous.
then, his logic remained sound.
I don't like the fact that I can't see.
He knew the world was all in his imagination.
I got loads of fish here. Okay. Hold on. Let me just deal with these fish. They just threw loads at me. I'm in the middle of a video game. Can you stop? Okay, we're good. Let's go. Oh god, multiple fish.
But he was so proud of having created it.
Yes. There we go.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Oh yes, I'm a god now. With fish and gore and things.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Yes! This is the real Louis. I must rise.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Okay. Well, that was nice. Have I still got all my hands? I think I do. Hey. Can I not? Is this mine?
Began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Yep. These are my fish that I did?
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh, I see. You okay, buddy? Finch? You're not doing your job correctly.
I still thought I could save him.
He's not doing
Even
the job
after
correctly.
he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Well, guess we gotta do it.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Yep. Look at the flying buttresses up there. This is really freaking creepy. Why is there like a giant muffin man and then
Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Okay. That is moving forward. Please don't chop my head off.
His
Okay.
queen waited, holding his crown.
Please don't chop my head off. You got some rainbows up here? I
There's
would
only
really
one
like
thing
some
left to
rainbows.
do.
Yeah.
Bend down his head.
Oh no. No, no. Don't make me do this. Oh no. Yeah.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Oh no. Okay.
He was so proud of being Indian. I think for him, it was a way to be something other than just a Finch.
Okie dokie. Oh, no, don't need to go back in. I don't need to go back. I don't need to go back in. I didn't need to go back in. Thanks, Edith. Okay. I don't need to go back in, Edith. I don't. Okay, can I exit? Is it exit this way? I think it's exit this way. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left.
This is Mum's room. right?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Yeah. Happy 90th. I
What
presume
happened that night had
Edith.
been coming for a long time.
I presume Edie died. Not Edith, Edie.
Maybe it should have come sooner.
This is our room. At the top. Up we go.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Okay. Tell me about it.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Okay. Well, I think...
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
Oh no. No.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Wait.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Okay. 1999.
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
But
I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
oh god, no, no, please don't do this game. I can't see.
I got turned around.
Yeah, that's a big boulder. Okay, we'll go to the left. Skirt round the boulder. And then go straight on.
For a while, I wandered.
Uh-huh.
I started seeing things.
Oh my god. It's the deer. Let's go follow the deer.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Like...
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends.
don't know what that is. I don't.
That night, a lot of things came back to me.
Yes.
Or maybe I came back to them.
Is this just like her old... Maybe it's just because it's her old house, maybe? I'm not quite sure.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
Oh,
It's
come
mine.
on.
Edith! Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go!
I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
I can go up.
We both tried to make the
Go
best of
down.
it.
Whoa.
A few years went by.
Blow it. I cannot blow it.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
I don't want to do this.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now...
Oh.
Things didn't work out that way.
No, come on, game.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Fuck, come on, dude. That was... That was really good. That was really good. The achievement. I got an achievement for scrolling through the credits. What I find is really interesting about this is the fact that, apart from Gregory, who was the baby, they all had their accounts the moments before their death. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know why I was so surprised about Edith dying at the end. Especially when the game is literally called What Remains of Edith Finch. Like, yeah, that was unbelievably good, actually. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Oh, I've missed so many achievements. That's annoying. They're all locked achievements. There must have been so much stuff that I missed. Yeah, there was quite a lot of things that I missed. The replay a story option is now available. Select Edith to play from the beginning. Can you? I see, so you can go back through the different stories. Which one is Dawn's? Which was her story? Was her story right at the end as we left? We never found what happened to Milton. That was I have no words for that. I generally do not have any words. I can see why everyone likes this game now. I can see why. Yeah, I get it. I get it. That was good. I enjoyed that. That was a fun game. Sorry, I'm very emotional right now because it felt like a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I guess that's what remains of Edith Finch.